Alright, just doing a little sound test. Eyes are up at the moment. Eyes are down. 30 miles an hour. Still 30. Dirty Gertie from number 30. Oh, I'm frightened of scratching my mirror. One nice Mercedes Benz. These are lanes. It takes a while to get used to lanes living in Devon. 20 miles an hour. They're narrow and dangerous to drive with a lot of care. This one particularly, when I first moved here, the amount of mirrors I smashed coming up and down here is dodgy. So 30 miles an hour. I don't think the microphone, the acoustics are as good on this, in this helmet, as they are on my Shui GT Air. The sound quality is really good. I don't know if it's the microphone position, the acoustics inside the helmet, though this one is meant to be a lot better. 36 miles an hour. I'm off to Wales at the weekend. I hope to do some more Dharma biker videos. The land of inspiration for me, the land of Drala. We just did a course in Shambhala about Drala. Really right up my alley. Ooh, I say. Saucy devil. I was a spiritualist before I became interested in the Dharma, Buddhism, Shambhala. I don't know if Shambhala is quite Buddhism, but it's very modern, I guess. Some people even might term it as Buddhism light, but I wouldn't say that. It's just more orientated towards integrating Dharma into society, enlightened society, making enlightened society possible. Oh, it's a bit of a wheel spin there. Whee! Hey! Whee! It's got some torque, this beast. Yeah. Really suits me, Shambhala. Though the Vipassana courses are very good, much more, I'd say hardcore, but very much more intensive. But the courses in Shambhala are also very stimulating mentally, emotionally. You know, I don't know if there's any one way is any better than the other, but with Shambhala you can do it in steps, little increments. It's very grounded. And recently we just did a course on Drala, which I don't know how you would translate it, however you would feel most comfortable. Some people might say Drala is about energy, nature, auspiciousness, our connection to the earth and the environment and each other. And also spiritual dimension, spirit, including nature spirits, elemental spirit, spirit of the earth, spirits of the earth, spirits of the elements, the sun, the wind, the rain. But also it goes a little bit further. It says that we can bring Drala into every aspect of our lives, which I like. You know, you take all the small things, the insignificant things that happen in our life, that is most of our life. So they say you can have a Drala of the kitchen. If you could see a Drala of the kitchen, perhaps it'd be fat and jolly. And it's about bringing Drala into our lives by paying attention to detail. To the things we do, care, and then we invite Drala in, the energy in. You know, for instance, one of the group was talking about how you know, she can be feeling quite shit and depleted, and right, okay, let's get the duster out, do a little bit of spring cleaning, clear up an area of the room, steam clean the corner, rearrange some ornaments, dust, and you walk away and you forget. When you come back in, you see it and you're uplifted. You know, you're sort of bringing an element of spirit or upliftedness into your life through paying attention to detail and through, I don't know, seeing the goodness in our lives. You're not being subject to all the negativity in there. The setting sun mentality of our world. Fuck it, we're all gonna die, who gives a shit, why bother? You know, and Chogram Trungpa Rinpoche talked about setting sun mentality, and as he referred to it, it's a smoky bar, room, dark atmosphere where people consume alcohol and smoke cigarettes and fuck it, who gives a shit about tomorrow, just live for today mentality as well, you know. I do suffer with it from time to time. It's so difficult to be free from it when we are surrounded by it and subjected to it through media, through our relationships with others. I think people believe that they are inherently bad, that the world is inherently bad, people in it are inherently bad, the politicians are inherently bad. It sort of does breed this sort of negative mentality, which is really unhealthy. And in fact, you know, if you look at yourself in any detail or depth, you'll find a heart of basic goodness, and when you realise that that's in you, you've got to acknowledge that it's in others also, and being in others, it's inherent in society itself and in all things, actually, all beings. And I think you know, this view Chogram Trungpa talks about is what is termed as the Great Eastern Sun, the view of the Great Eastern Sun. And it's called the Great Eastern Sun because the sun that rises in the east is the rising sun. It's full of hope, possibility, freshness, yeah, you know, so it's really uplifted. It's pregnant with potential. And I think when we open our hearts and minds to this view, you know, it's true. It doesn't matter if you only have a few years, hours or days left in your life. You know, we can always turn things around. It doesn't have to take a great deal of time. It can be in a conversation with our loved ones, or how we perhaps don't react to in a volatile situation. You know, for instance, I was in Screwfix yesterday morning, and the woman behind the counter was really rude, and I just thought, oh god, you know, it sort of got me. It's sort of like wow, I thought, fucking hell, I could react to her, I could really put her down a peg or two. And I thought, oh, just remember, you know, the Great Eastern Sun, the view of the Great Eastern Sun. You know, you don't know what has affected people in their lives. sometimes we do have to not be bullied, you know, but we have, I think we can use skillful means, but if we react blindly, those skillful means aren't forthcoming at all. I think we can just allow it to reside, and then when we give it space, natural wisdom arises, and kindness actually. Anyway, I just thought about, she's got a problem there. I didn't see it as my problem. So I just thought, we'll let it go. I said, alright love. She said about I went to put the card in the wrong card reader on the other side. So you stood at this sort of cubicle. There's a card reader on the left, there's a card reader on the right. Because I went to put the card reader on the left machine, she said no. She said it's not that one, it's this one. I said, oh, you could easily get confused. She goes, no, this one's the one for this counter. I thought, ooh. I said, well, maybe you should put some lines on the floor and some signs up. Part of me wanted to tell her to fuck off, stupid girl, but I didn't. I smiled and I was kind to her, and maybe that'll make a difference in her day, you know, instead of exacerbating any shit that she might be feeling and amplifying it. It could have been the start of a very bad day, you know. And I think that's sort of, in a small way, how the Great Eastern Sun vision can manifest in our world, in the small details, and maybe making a lovely fresh pot of tea with tea leaves and warm in the pot, bringing some dignity to our everyday seemingly trivial things, can sort of give inject some richness into our lives. Or, you know, being present when we're washing up, rather than thinking about where we'd rather be, or, you know, rather than being somewhere else in the past or in the future, we can actually say, oh, and be awake to whatever sensations we might be feeling, you know, the warmth of the water, the bubbles, the colours in the soap bubbles, you know, the rainbow colours, you know, small details. And this is the way that the Great Eastern Sun can manifest in our lives, in the small details, not just the big things. Though sometimes we do get those eureka moments, those moments, the epiphanies. Sometimes they are very profound, but, you know, let's not just exclude all the other things. And that really basically is what Drala's about. They say evoking the Dralas, but I think if you're open they will come close anyway. And we would have to be very arrogant as human beings to believe we are the only intelligent life on this planet, on Earth. So I know some people don't believe in spirit, but, you know, I do. Through my investigations, this spirit incarnate into a physical body. There are discarnate spirits. The same is true in the animal kingdom, so why shouldn't they have discarnate energies, entities that interested and connected to the evolution of species? Why not? Yeah? There are people that talk about angels and so forth in human dimension, so why can't other species also be subject to the same thing? When you think about it, it becomes quite obvious. And also it brings an element of wonder into our lives. How could you be bored or think that nothing ever happens once your mind opens to that sort of thing? Maybe sometimes this is what we fear. It's the sense of open space, groundlessness. So even though we complain about our boredom and that life's miserable and dull, in some ways we like it because it makes us feel quite safe. But we become prisoners of it, you know. Put her in sport mode. We are now in sport suspension and sport engine management. Gives it a lot more straight off. You feel the road much more keenly underneath the tyres. That's good. I was a bit concerned when I left that I had ACF 50, which is a sort of oily cleaning product all over the brakes. I just sprayed the thing ready for winter to try and protect it from the rust and the salt, and some did go on the discs, but they do seem alright now. Burnt it off. Okay, down to 30. Hope you can still hear me. Yeah, I'm off to Wales tomorrow, so I wanted to get the bike up and sorted. I've just had a 9,000 mile service, less than a year. Done some miles on it already. It's just, I can't stay off it. It's lovely. And that's not just nipping to the shops, it's bigger trips. And just had a service in the oil. It seemed okay when I picked the bike up. Its oil levels have dropped a bit. I think as it's circulated around the oil cooler and around the engine, its levels dropped, so I just want to get it topped up before we go. That front wheel came a little bit light off that little raised road. I hope this mic's working okay. Got two mics in the helmet, one on the right hand side, which is my hand-free kit, one on the left, which is for GoPro, and friend Malcolm and Tracy, actually. I think it might have been Tracy. Why have you got two mics? I said, well, one's for my Bluetooth, and I said the other one's a direct line to the Lord. Got a laugh. What some priests think, or some people think priests have, that we all got a connection with this, with the energies of this earth. We bothered to take a look, not just allow other people to do it for us. You know, that's a problem. We're bloody lazy. You think, oh, you need a specialist for this, a specialist for that. Bullshit. You can learn to do these things yourself. I think I proved that when I was interested in spiritualism. I watched other people and how they did it, and I was amazed. And then I thought, well, if they can do it, why can't I? So I learned how to do it, and I became reasonably good at communicating. And I did demonstrations. First of all, I started off in the church in Exeter, and then local churches and centres, spiritual centres, giving mediumship readings to people on public demonstrations. And well, I ended up going, you know, Weymouth and Cornwall, all over the place. So it just goes to show, you know, you can do it. Anyone can do it, I think. If you train and practice, a lot of it is having the courage to try. Bike is fun. The GS is a big competitor to this one, but I wouldn't have been happy with the GS. It's not sporty enough. I think it's very good. I've ridden one, but quite a while ago. I think they're very good. There's nothing wrong with them, but I think it's probably a better tourer, maybe a little bit more comfortable than this one. Got some good attributes, are well built, well made. Off-road, I don't know, in the right hands are probably quite good, same as this one, but this is a lot lighter, so I'd imagine this will be slightly better off-road. Touring, just okay. BMW probably a little bit better, a little bit more comfortable. Fun, sportiness, this one. I'm not saying that it's slow, the BMW, but it's not as sporty as this. It feels lovely on the road. Yeah, I think I'll do for a little while anyway. So have a look when I get home at the footage and see if it recorded my voice. The riser is down, I've done some speeds as well. So, thank you for listening, lovely people. See you later.